Hey everyone, welcome back to the Overseers. I'm your host Proelios, and uh, I'm just bringing a quick episode to you in which I'm going to be reviewing the Dallas Fuels roster going into the season 4 playoffs. Now, we've reviewed all of the different teams that have gotten in through the play-in so far. So the Dallas Fuel are the first team that have gotten straight through to the playoffs from the NA region, and overall, this team has had a fantastic season because they spent the May Melee, the June Joust, and the Summer Showdown pretty much at the top of the ladder, uh, putting up some of the best performances the league had ever seen. And they did hit a bit of a slump in the Countdown Cup because the meta was basically based on the ball's end composition, which Dallas wasn't very good at. But throughout the season, they did prove that they were quite versatile otherwise, and that's going to be a big advantage for them going into the playoffs. Now, let's review this team just like we did for all of the others, which is going through the tank line first, then the DPS, then the supports. And then we'll just quickly touch upon what I think uh, the Fuel's chances are at winning this championship. Now, first up, the tank line for Dallas is Fearless and Hanbin, as it has always been for this season. Now, Fearless, of course, I would say best Winston in the league. I think his decision-making skills on the hero are great, and he also has some of the best primal mechanics the league has ever seen. I think he's just like a slightly better version of Mag on Winston, dare I say. And Fearless has also pulled out a great Reinhardt every now and then and looked amazing. Earlier, he was really weak at Wrecking Ball, especially when we saw him pull it out during the Countdown Cup. But as they progressed through those qualifier matches, he seemed to be getting the hang of it. And earlier, he wasn't even good at engaging cleanly. Like he used to get stuck on walls or mess up his grapple timings and things like that. But right now, at least he's engaging properly, positioning properly, and not feeding his brains out. So I'm interested if he's actually able to improve and compete with some other good ball players in the playoffs, especially Gaga from the Chengdu Hunters. Now, backing him up is Hanbin, whom I think is the best diva in the league. I've already talked about his amazing defense matrix usage on the show, but he should also get a shout out for how good his raw mechanics and positioning are. And he's also really good at solo killing squishies if they're out of position, which I think makes him very scary to play against. And I think the great mechanics also kind of transition to his Zarya play, which has been phenomenal this season. Whenever Dallas has played either Rhine Zarya Rush or Double Bubble, so it's just a great tank line overall. I think as long as they're able to play those Winston and Reinhardt compositions, the tank line will be absolutely fine. Moving on to the DPS line of Sparkle and Doha. So Sparkle has been a flex god this season, right? Which is why I voted for him for MVP, despite a lot of people questioning my decision. But Sparkle has played like a ton of Tracer, which was a pleasant surprise to all Dallas fans, considering how good he turned out to be. He's also played a fair bit of Echo. Then he got to play a lot of Sim during the Summer Showdown. He pulled out Farah and Genji and even Doomfist at different points in the season, and he looked quite good on all of them. And with him was Doha, and another key piece of the Fuel starting lineup. I think Doha has, even though he's not played a lot of Echo, I think he's a really underrated Echo player. I think he's super disciplined with his focus beam usage, kind of like what I said for who was I reviewing that day? Crap, I forgot whom I mentioned that about. Mm. Yeah, I mentioned that for Assassin, I think, didn't I? Yeah, just like Assassin. So the like Doha's Echo play is really good because overall I think he's just a very well aware and smart player, and that's why he's also good at heroes like Reaper and Mei because they don't require a ton of mechanics, but they require a lot of game sense. Like his Reaper has been fantastic since his Element Mystic days, I think. Especially when he played Reaper alongside Sparkle's Doomfist during the very first Double Shield Rush meta. And it's also funny that Doha's also known for being an incredible Sombra player, but he hasn't been quite as noticeable on her this season. Maybe because the rest of his team has been outshining him. But regardless of that, I think since Sombra is such a key part of the meta this season, he will be pulling her out and probably showing, uh, having some good performances on her. And then when we move on to the supports, we've got Jexa, Fielder, who are the stable support line. Um, so Jexa is the team's shot caller and a really disciplined Lucio player. And that's going to be fantastic because I think the Fuel will pull out that kind of dive rush composition which is being played by a few teams this season during this meta. I mean, so Jaxa is always he's always laser focused on enabling his team rather than going for hero plays, which is probably why he builds his ultimate so fast. And that's actually quite similar to Fielder, who he proved to be kind of the best Moira we've seen this season, and because he built up those coalescences really fast, and he too focused just on healing his team up, and then went aggressive with his calls and just picked people off. I think Fielder's also been a really flexible flex support and also one of the best Ana players in season 4. His mechanics are really good and he's very disciplined with all of his ability usage. And I think his engagement timings, especially like when they do Nano Winston with Fearless, he just used to get immense value every single time. And either way, Fielder and Jaxa are going to perform really well because they are like really flexible players. And even though Fielder hasn't played BAP and Zen that often, and we don't have much of an idea of how well he would do on those heroes, he has looked decent on them. So the team should be fine. And of course, they still have Rappel, but I don't think Rappel is going to be playing because even though he hasn't looked bad when he's been put in, it's obvious that Fielder is the better flex support. So I don't think we should expect him to play. And I mean, I completely overlooked that the new hitscan player Pine, because I don't think Pine's going to be playing either because this meta does not seem to favor long range hitscan by any means. It's going completely in the dive direction. And because of that, I don't think Pine's going to be fielded on his signature heroes, which are McCree and Widow, and probably even Ashe. But we'll see how good of an Ashe he is in case he gets to pull her out. But yeah, I don't think we are going to see him at all this season, which is a bit of a shame. But why change things up if they're working, right? Why try to fix something that isn't broken? So I think overall the Dallas Fuel are looking quite good. Um, I don't believe they, in this particular meta, will be in a position to win the championship, because I do believe ball is going to be a very critical part of this meta, and the Dallas Fuel simply cannot play ball comps at that high of a level. They seem at their best when Fearless is able to play Winston, no matter whether that is in a dive rush composition with that Moira Lucio backline or with the slower Ana break comp, where Fielder just kind of is able to shine on Ana a lot more. So I think in case the meta at the highest level does allow for a lot of instant play, then the Dallas Fuel can make a deeper run than I expect. But overall, I think ball is going to be very, very crucial in this meta. And since the Fuel aren't very good at it, I think they could probably go maybe halfway or a little bit more during in these playoff brackets. So overall, those are my thoughts on the Dallas Fuel. If you guys have any opinions you'd like to share about this team, feel free to use the comments, and I'll be definitely keeping an eye out for those. And yeah, remember to like, share, subscribe, turn on the bell icon so you can be notified when I post my forthcoming reviews. In the next episode, I will be reviewing the Shanghai Dragons, so do look out for that video, and I will see you in that one. Bye bye.